Hello, Warrior Women. Karen McCoy here, and today we're going to look at setting goals versus setting an intention. So it is January 2025. So we've turned the corner into New Year. And so this is always, of course, as you know, where everybody does the New Year's resolutions and they want to pen out exactly what they want to do, how much money they want to make, how their body looks, maybe new relationship, maybe moving their home, whatever it happens to be. But when we set goals, it's valid, but only to a certain point. And I prefer my clients look at setting intentions. So what does that mean? So when we look at setting goals, of course, me in the fitness world, we talk about the SMART philosophy, SMART, simple, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound, right? So this is the goal setting that we're supposed to have when we're moving into a body transformation space. And so we lay it out like on a chart, which is great, guys. But here's the deal with setting goals. It's external and it often is about projecting what you want, and you're not there until you attain it. Right. And so if we don't attain it, then we are in resistance and we look at it as failure. So it's an external that says, well, I want to be 30 pounds lighter. I want to be at the gym 4 days a week, and I want to stop my sugar habit, say. And so this is all coined out. Okay, how are you going to make that work in the simple, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound? Or whatever strategy you're using. Are you going to journal it? Are you going to use spreadsheets? Which is fine. But the challenge is life happens. Life happens. And then life is supposed to happen, guys. And that is when we reassess and reapply. But in the world of goal setting, it's usually a pass or fail, right? So it sets us up for failure, and it creates a sense of what I call the shame guilt cycle, where once again, and I've seen this for women sometimes for decades, where they go down that rabbit hole into feeling guilty that they didn't make it, and then they feel ashamed that their body hasn't changed, or they might have told everybody and everybody's saying, see, told you couldn't do it. And this is why setting New Year's resolutions is pretty tough. And a lot of people are now saying, I don't want to do it. They're saying, I don't want to do it because it doesn't feel good, right? I get it. Or they want to set bigger intentions. So let's look at setting intentions. And so setting intentions is something that is within. Okay. So it's not based on that diet or that workout plan or that coach or that trainer. So it is within, and it is never done. Okay. And this is hard for people because they want completeness. But when you look at this healthy aging, lifestyle athletic training, as I call it, meaning that we're all aging, but we're lifestyle athletes because we train or we're in the gym and we manage our food. And that's what we're supposed to do as human beings. So I see a lot of people coming up to, say, retirement, right? And then all of a sudden they just sit on the couch and they're like, oh, this is bliss. I can just chill out. Problem with chilling out is we can't just not put healthy food or healthy movement. We can't just not do it, because healthy aging requires action. It still requires action. And sometimes I got to light a fire under their butt and say, okay, now we got to move into action and make this a lifestyle. And so when we make the intention of saying, I am creating and maintaining this lifestyle, it is a process that doesn't stop, because it is a lifestyle practice and promise that we've made to ourselves. Just like other promises that we've made to ourselves. We promise to pay off our mortgage. We promise to put our kids through school. We promise to always have a relationship with them. We promise to do the best in our marriage. I mean, we don't go into marriage saying, I'll give it 1 or 2 years and see what happens. We hit bumps, and we go back in and we rebrand, we retry, we do things. I know some of them don't always end happy, guys. That's fine. But we don't go in thinking, well, he's got to be a certain way, the fixer-upper mentality, or she's got to be a certain way in order for this to work. No, you go in and you move along the way and you refabricate, and you're malleable along the way until you find hopefully something that works, and then you strengthen it. It's the same with a body transformation, guys. So it's never about the end result, because here's the deal. You're going to get to maybe the body that you want, but 95% of the people don't sustain it. They lose their results within 6 to 18 months. Why is that? It's because they looked at it like, I've arrived. but then they don't have any action plan to maintain, or they arrive with a certain diet plan that got them to lose the weight, and then they slowly slip back into the old habits of who they were and what they did before. And that's the danger zone. So an intention is about making the promise to self to maintain this as a lifestyle because you want to, and the benefits of it for the next 20, 30, 40 years on the planet, however long you have, right? And this allows us to be in alignment with the universe, if you will, or energy source, because the universe is always in process. Everything is in process. Everything's always changing, right? And we need to constantly be in momentum to catch that wave. And once we're in momentum and understand that this is the way it's supposed to be, we make that our normal instead of the classic mainstream way of thinking. Normal is I'm here and I want to be here and I've got 12 weeks to do it. And when I arrive, yay. And then what? Oh, I've got 30 years ahead of me, right? And so the intention is this is how my foundational framework is going to work from this way moving forward, because this is how I want to live. This is how I want to be. This is what's important to me. And this is my value system. And the value system for us lifestyle athletes that have been doing this for a long time is I don't barter with my exercise. I don't barter with my food. Sure, I go out and have some fun once in a while and go off my food plan and have a piece of chocolate cake, but it's not the norm. And I don't look at it like, oh, I want the chocolate cake. No, I'm like, I don't need the chocolate cake, but once in a while, sure, let's have a few bites and I'm done. So it's a very different way of thinking, right? So this is where you have to think differently and put a different meaning around it. And this is where we need to step out of mayhem of mainstream, especially around January, because that is when everybody's doing this. And they're in a loop, and it's like herding cats. It's like, whoa, right? And they're all hoping to get there, and they've written down their goals. God bless them. Like they're doing journaling around it. But then there's always we set ourselves up for failure. Whereas if you create an intention of how you want to live, what's important to you? My body is important to me. My health is important to me. How I fuel it is important to me because this body takes me through this life and hopefully have another 20, 30 years on the planet. And there's a lot of people who don't have the gift of a working body and they wish they had, or people who are in a disease process, or they're fighting with disability, or whatever it happens to be, whether it's self-created or sometimes stuff just happens, guys. Then we can be thankful where we're at and we can improve on it because there are people out there that don't have the gift of a working body. And if you do, then it's a gift that we need to honor and support. So just look around you. Ladies, look around you. The average woman is not aging healthy. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sure I'll get a lot of emails around it, but they're not. Even if they're in the gym and even if they're eating properly, are they doing it from a place of self-love and ease? Or are they beating themselves with excess exercise, too much cardio, too many calorie cuts, too many detoxes, intermittent fasting when they really don't want to do it because they want to go out for dinner at 7 o'clock at night, or they go off the intermittent fasting and then it's just casual intermittent fasting and then it's not really anything. Then it's just disordered eating that has a tag attached to it to make us feel good. So please really be aware of your intentions and make them strong and true, right? It's your life, your body, your future. So setting goals is great, but let's go bigger and set intentions for how we want to live, how we want to feel, how we want to look, how we want to operate, how we want to age for the next 30 years on this planet. All right, you guys, thanks for listening. I'd love to hear your comments below. Okay, ciao.